Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Mike McDaniel finally broke his silence, and when he did, the entire Dolphins fan base listened closely. The Miami Dolphins made headlines again with a trade that truly shook the NFL landscape. In what will undoubtedly go down as one of the biggest moves of the offseason, Miami reacquired all-pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, along with tight and Jonnu Smith, in a package that sent cornerback Jalen Ramsey and a couple of draft picks to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not every day you see two elite defensive backs changing teams in one move. But that's exactly what happened here, and now, with training camp in full swing, all eyes are back on Fitzpatrick as he dons the aqua and orange once more. After years of dominance in Pittsburgh, he returns to South Beach with more experience, more accolades, and a reputation as one of the league's premier safeties. His arrival immediately changes the tone of the Dolphins' defense, and head coach Mike McDaniel knows it. When McDaniel spoke to the media on Wednesday morning, he didn't hold back. He was visibly energized by what Fitzpatrick brings to the table and even more thrilled about how well he fits the current Dolphins system. "We are elated to have Minkah on the team," he said. "He's a real good fit based on his skill set, athletically, and what he's able to do in transition. In the open field, elite ball skills and leadership." McDaniel emphasized that this wasn't just a front office decision made in a vacuum. Fitzpatrick himself was involved in the conversation before the trade was finalized, and he expressed genuine excitement about coming back to the franchise that first drafted him. His return marks more than just a reunion. It's a signal that Miami is doubling down on experience and accountability, especially in a young and hungry defensive backfield. That defensive backfield, by the way, is young, very young. And Fitzpatrick's arrival isn't just about his own ability to take away passing lanes or fly to the ball. It's about what he means to the players around him. The Dolphins are clearly positioning Fitzpatrick as the leader of the group, both emotionally and strategically. His calm demeanor, relentless work ethic, and knack for reading offenses will set the tone for a defense that's looking to make a leap in 2025, as McDaniel put it. He couldn't get in the 29 jersey fast enough. That quote alone gives you a glimpse of how eager Fitzpatrick is to get started, to dig in, and to once again represent the team that drafted him back in 2018. For fans who remember his original stint in Miami, this is a full-circle moment, and one that couldn't come at a better time for a franchise trying to take the next step. Fitzpatrick's leadership isn't just a narrative being pushed by the coaches. His former Alabama teammate and current Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, had plenty to say about the safety's influence. Tagovailoa shared a vivid memory of his freshman year, describing Fitzpatrick as the kind of player who naturally sets the standard without even trying. "I have a lot of good things to say about him. The mentor in the way that he was for that locker room," Tua recalled. "If there's a standard, and then there's someone you can look at and say, that's the standard, that's Minkah." It's rare to hear a quarterback, especially one on the offensive side of the ball, speak so glowingly about a defensive teammate, but Tua's respect is telling. It suggests that Fitzpatrick's impact goes far beyond stats. He influences culture, shapes expectations, and motivates those around him to elevate their game. The story Tua told about one of his earliest memories of Fitzpatrick speaks volumes. During a grueling post-practice conditioning session, the dreaded gassers, the entire team was exhausted. Most players were ready to tap out. Then, out of nowhere, Fitzpatrick starts shouting like they were in overtime of a championship game. He pushed the team to dig deep and finish strong. Tua's like, "Who's this psychopath? I fear him," McDaniel joked as he retold the story, but beneath the humor is something very real. That kind of fire doesn't come from just anywhere. It's not forced, it's natural. And that intensity is exactly what McDaniel wants to infuse into the Dolphins' identity this season. Fitzpatrick is soft-spoken by nature, but when he speaks or acts, people notice. That moment of conditioning in college says more about his character than any highlight reel ever could. As training camp progresses, the Dolphins will be leaning heavily on Fitzpatrick to help anchor their young secondary. He's expected to not just make plays, but to mold the next generation of defenders in Miami. Whether it's mentoring Jevon Holland or setting an example for Cam Smith, his presence immediately raises the floor of this defense. The Dolphins haven't lacked talent in recent years, they've lacked consistency. With someone like Fitzpatrick back in the fold, there's a renewed hope that this unit can finally deliver on its potential. And that's where McDaniel's vision comes into play. He's built a culture of accountability and creativity. And now he has a player who embodies those values. Fitzpatrick isn't coming in to take over, he's coming in to elevate, and based on everything the Dolphins have said so far, the entire locker room is already buying into that vision. Let's also not ignore the emotional weight of this move. Fitzpatrick left Miami under tense circumstances back in 2019, voicing his frustrations with how he was being utilized. That's in the past now, and both sides have clearly grown. The Dolphins are a different organization under McDaniel's leadership, more cohesive, more collaborative, and far more player-focused. And Fitzpatrick, now entering his 7th NFL season, returns as a mature, accomplished veteran who's eager to lead. When asked about coming back, he didn't dwell on the past. Instead, he focused on the opportunity ahead. That's the mindset of a professional who knows exactly what he wants. His goal isn't revenge or redemption. It's about legacy, about competing for a championship, and about mentoring the next wave of Dolphin stars. From a pure football standpoint, the pairing of Fitzpatrick and Jevon Holland might be the most intriguing safety duo in the entire league. Both players possess elite range, instincts, and ball-hawking ability. But more importantly, they complement each other. Fitzpatrick thrives in reading quarterbacks and breaking on the ball, while Holland brings a physical edge and versatility in the box. Together, they offer McDaniel and defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver a ton of flexibility in coverage schemes. Expect more disguised looks, more interchangeable coverages, and more confusion for opposing quarterbacks. That's what Fitzpatrick brings, not just talent, but schematic advantage. And with a defensive line that can apply pressure, the secondary now becomes even more dangerous. This isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about building something formidable, something sustainable. As training camp heats up, the spotlight will only grow brighter. Fitzpatrick is no stranger to high expectations, but this is a new chapter, one where he's expected to lead from day one. He's not being eased in, he's here to guide, to elevate, and to compete for a playoff run. With the AFC more competitive than ever, the Dolphins need every edge they can get. Fitzpatrick provides one. His experience, his football IQ, his ability to make game-changing plays in the biggest moments. It's all going to be on display this season. And let's not forget, he's still just 28 years old. He's in his prime, hungry for success, and determined to help Miami rise to contender status. That kind of hunger is contagious. And in a locker room full of young, hungry players, Fitzpatrick's presence might just be the missing piece. So, as the Dolphins prepare for the upcoming season, fans have every reason to be excited. This team looks different, and not just on paper. There's a renewed energy in the building. From McDaniel's electric optimism to Tua's unwavering confidence, and now Fitzpatrick's return. Something special is brewing in Miami. There are no guarantees in the NFL, but this much is clear. The Dolphins aren't content with just making noise. They want to win. They want to dominate, and with Minkah Fitzpatrick back in the mix, they've added a proven winner who knows what it takes. Training camp is just the beginning. The real journey starts in September, but with the pieces falling into place, don't be surprised if this team makes a serious run. The foundation is solid, the leadership is in place, and the message from the top is simple. It's time to take the next step. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? In what's shaping up to be one of the most surprising moves of the NFL offseason? Rumors are swirling around the South Florida airwaves that Rasul Douglas, the talented cornerback who turned heads with his recent performances, has landed in Miami. Sources close to the situation claim that Douglas was spotted entering the Miami Dolphins team facility earlier this morning. While no official announcement has been made by the organization or the players' representatives, insiders believe Douglas is on the verge of signing a substantial 4-year deal with the Dolphins. If true, this move would signify a bold and calculated push by Miami's front office to bolster their secondary with proven talent. Given Douglas's standout ability to read quarterbacks and shut down passing lanes, his addition could immediately elevate the team's defense. Dolphins fans are already buzzing across social media, speculating about how he'll fit into Vic Fangio's evolving scheme, and whether this signing points to other strategic roster changes. The implications of Rasul Douglas potentially joining the Miami Dolphins go beyond just football stats. Douglas, known for his fiery competitiveness and ability to spark locker room energy, could bring the kind of veteran leadership that the Dolphins have sorely lacked in recent playoff runs. Observers close to the team believe this acquisition, if it materializes, could reshape the culture in Miami's defensive unit, given how injuries decimated their secondary last season. Adding someone of Douglas's caliber feels like a safety net the Dolphins can't afford to pass up. With Xavier Howard recently released and Jalen Ramsey recovering from injury setbacks, RASUL's arrival could be both a short-term stabilizer and a long-term building block. Some are even saying this move was orchestrated weeks ago behind closed doors, and his appearance at the facility is merely the final stage in a carefully managed operation. The question remains, what does this mean for the Dolphins' draft strategy going forward? RASUL Douglas isn't just any cornerback. Over the past 2 seasons, he's quietly developed into one of the NFL's most dependable defenders in man coverage, whether facing top-tier wideouts or stepping in as a hybrid safety role when needed. Douglas brings a rare versatility to the field. That's exactly why this rumor of a 4-year contract with Miami has created such a stir among analysts and insiders. If confirmed, it would signal that the Dolphins aren't just trying to compete, they're going all in. Remember, Douglas was instrumental in Green Bay's secondary before being traded mid-season, and his arrival in Buffalo brought immediate improvement to a battered unit. His knack for reading plays before they develop and turning defensive snaps into turnovers makes him a perfect chess piece for any coordinator. Could this be the move that finally gives Miami the consistency they've been craving on defense? The move, though not yet official, has all the hallmarks of a franchise-defining acquisition. For a team that's often hovered between rebuilding and playoff contention, the Dolphins may have finally found the missing link. RASUL Douglas brings not just a physical edge to the game, but also a cerebral one. Teammates and coaches alike often speak about his football IQ, his ability to study tape religiously, and how he communicates in the huddle. If he does put pen to paper on this reported 4-year deal, Dolphins fans should expect an immediate impact. But what's most intriguing is the domino effect this could set off. With Douglas likely to start opposite Jalen Ramsey, Miami could suddenly boast one of the most formidable cornerback duos in the league. And while nothing's official yet, all signs point to an aggressive front office willing to make bold moves to chase that elusive Lombardi trophy. It's not just the Dolphins faithful who are reacting to the whispers surrounding Douglas's possible arrival. League executives across the AFC are reportedly paying close attention to the developments in Miami. Several teams had previously shown interest in Douglas during trade talks and free agency buzz, but none seemed to have the mix of cap space, competitive edge, and scheme fit that the Dolphins offer. If Miami indeed secures him for years, it would be a masterstroke of timing and negotiation. More importantly, it would send a message to the rest of the NFL. The Dolphins are not here to play nice, they're here to win. RASUL's rumored deal could also influence the way other free agents look at Miami. A franchise that used to struggle with attracting top-tier talent may now be turning the tide, thanks to a blend of coaching consistency, young talent, and an increasingly attractive tax-friendly market for RASUL Douglas. The potential signing could mark a new chapter in an already impressive journey. Drafted in the 3rd round by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017, Douglas has battled through roster cuts, trades, and scheme changes. Each stop from Philly to Carolina, Green Bay, and Buffalo shaped him into the player he is today, resilient, adaptable, and always hungry. Now, Miami could be the stage where everything comes together. Imagine Douglas lining up at Hard Rock Stadium, feeding off the energy of one of the league's most passionate fan bases. If this deal goes through, it won't just be about money or playing time, it will be about legacy. Douglas has always played with a chip on his shoulder, and in Miami, he could finally be positioned as the centerpiece of a defense built to intimidate and dominate. The fit feels almost poetic, and yet, it's still just a rumor for now. There's also a growing belief among Dolphins insiders that RASUL Douglas's presence could transform how the team handles younger defensive backs, with rookies and second-year players often struggling to adapt to the speed of the NFL. Someone like Douglas, known for mentoring teammates and setting high practice standards, could be invaluable. His work ethic has become the stuff of legend in locker rooms across the league. Should he land in Miami, coaches might lean on him not just to make plays on Sundays, but to set the tone Monday through Saturday. This hypothetical 4-year deal might, therefore, be as much about culture as it is about coverage. And while some critics may question the price or the longevity of the contract, most agree that RASUL Douglas, at his best, is worth every penny. It's the kind of move that can help mold the next generation of Dolphins defenders. into a playoff-caliber unit, if we're being honest. The Dolphins have a history of bold moves that either pay off spectacularly or fizzle under pressure. From Ndamukong Suh's mega deal to the splashy drafting of Tua Tagovailoa, Miami's front office is no stranger to high-stakes decisions. But what makes this potential RASUL Douglas signing different is how under the radar it's been until now. There were no major leaks, no flashy reports, just a sudden appearance at the team facility and a wave of speculation. That sort of silence often hints at serious negotiations taking place behind the scenes. Could this be a strategic shift in how the Dolphins operate? Less noise, more results. If Douglas does ink that 4-year deal, it would show the team has matured in its approach, opting for precision rather than theatrics. And it would prove they're not waiting for luck, they're building a contender. One silent power move at a time. Another point worth noting is how RASUL Douglas's style complements what Miami has tried to build defensively. While the team has often relied on blitz-heavy packages and man-to-man coverage, they've lacked a corner who can consistently track receivers without safety help. Douglas, with his length, instincts, and patience, thrives in those exact situations. Pairing him with the elite but occasionally over-aggressive Ramsey could create a perfect balance on the outside. The ripple effect would be enormous, freeing up linebackers, simplifying safety roles, and giving the defensive line more time to pressure quarterbacks. It's the kind of calculated addition that makes a unit exponentially better. So if this rumor turns out to be true, the Dolphins may not just be improving, they may be transforming into a defensive juggernaut. And in an AFC loaded with elite quarterbacks, that kind of strategic depth might be the difference between a wild-card exit and a Super Bowl run, until an official press release confirms it. This RASUL Douglas to Miami storyline remains just that, a tantalizing possibility, but sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. The NFL is notorious for behind-the-scenes deals that quietly shape the entire season, and this one feels like it fits that mold. With training camp right around the corner, the timing couldn't be more dramatic. Dolphins fans, analysts, and even rival teams are watching closely to see how this unfolds. If Douglas does sign for 4 years, expect a media frenzy, instant jersey sales, and a renewed optimism in South Florida. More than anything, though, it would signal a turning point. The Dolphins wouldn't just be collecting names, they'd be assembling a team, piece by piece, with vision and urgency. Whether this rumor holds weight or not, one thing's for sure, the buzz around RASUL Douglas in Miami isn't going away anytime soon. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!